I was watching this Netflix documentary. It's called Surviving Death.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
It was about like there's like one story where this lady, I think she was going like
I heard about it, but I haven't heard the whole story, so I don't know.
Bruv, it's so mad. When
I suppose like about her son or something.
Yeah. No, she was going kayaking. She went on like a dangerous like turn.
Mhm.
And obviously the tide of like the river she was kayaking on.
Yeah.
Like she ended up like underneath the river.
Oh,
and she like drowned.
What, like capsudes?
Yeah, and she drowned.
Fuck, yeah.
And she said, and like all of a sudden, she said like drowning is obviously like bare scary.
Yeah, of
but
course.
She felt like in like so much comfort, and she was greeted by like these beings. Like she couldn't explain it, but she was greeted by these beings, and like she felt like so much comfort and like warmth.
Shit,
and like she wasn't scared at all, and she could turn back to her body, and she saw her body like under the river, and they said like, your time's not up, you need to go back to your body. And apparently like the afterlife, like you feel like so much warmth and comfort, you don't want to go back to your like your living life.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, no, I like it here, I enjoy it here. And they were saying like, no, your time is not up. And then before she went back, they said to her, oh, before you go, your son is going to die of an unexpected death. And she was like, what do you mean? And they were like, oh, like, they didn't tell her anymore. And they said, just go back to your body. She went back to her body. She came...
And her son died.
Apparently came back to life.
Mm-hmm.
18 years later, I think it was on like his... Oh, I don't know if I'm wrong or right. But
his son died of
the
same thing.
Yeah, I think it was like his 18th birthday. Yeah. I think he was like skiing. He got hit by a car unexpectedly. Got hit by a car, and she literally said like, I was told by like these beings, I don't know if like angels or something or spirits, but I was told by these beings that like he was gonna die, and he died on his 18th birthday.
Fucked, man.
And I don't know if it was 18th or 19th, I can't really remember, but like watching shows like that, it kind of like gives me comfort.
Why though? Because
I don't know. Cause
you're like
when like a family member passes away, it kind of gives you comfort that you're going to see them again. Yeah. And like there is an afterlife. Because sometimes I can't lie, when like living through my life, I kind of think like, oh, is there really an afterlife, or is that it?
Yeah.
Like, do you just die? But I can't lie, like watching that show, I was fully thinking like, oh, maybe there is actually an afterlife.
It's funny how you say that though, because I watched this YouTuber called Dudley Rhino. And like he like, I know you're probably very religious and like you probably believed in the afterlife before that.
Yeah.
But like he didn't really believe in any religion, and he was like, he didn't believe in afterlife or anything like that. And he was like to all you out there, like just I was you, like I didn't believe in afterlife and anything like that. Like I just thought we live, we die, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, and he said after watching this episode of this woman, it's made me actually fully believe that when we die, we do go somewhere else.
There's scientists that have said like, that's only when people have near-death experiences and they claim that they see these like beings and all that. That's only like the brain going. That's only like the brain like seeing shit.
Mm-hmm.
But they've actually. There's been some times where the brain has been completely dead. And they still see this shit.
Yeah, I know.
And then they come back and they're like, oh fuck, like you know on the monitor of like
when it goes like
when it goes beep,
yeah.
Like it would show like everything is dead.
Yeah.
And then they come back and they go, I literally saw this shit, and they were like, how did there's no way the brain would see that because the brain was literally dead. That's what scientists have said. Apparently,
when everyone like has a near-death experience, like it doesn't really matter if you believe in God or whatever or Jesus. Everyone sees like a light, or whatever, or like just a white space, and they always see like this man, and I like it's what I believe. That's like God welcoming you into heaven, like because apparently like everyone that goes into heaven, all the good people out there, they always see the same thing before they die, and I feel like scientists have said that as well.
On the show I was watching, Surviving Death, it was like this guy explaining his near-death experience, and he said that I forgot how he died, but when he died, he saw like a beach, and it was like really beautiful.
Okay, yeah.
And in the distance, he saw a man standing there, and he walked up to him, and it was his dad.
Shit. What, as his dad died?
Yeah, no, his dad had passed away
Okay,
years ago.
Okay, yeah.
And apparently they hadn't really had like a great connection. They hadn't really said like, "Oh, I love you."
Okay, yeah.
And like he said that like this near-death experience like changed his life. Like it gave him a chance to tell his dad that he loves him.
Oh.
And apparently his dad said like, "Oh, it's not your time yet. Like, go back." And I'm thinking, when I was watching the show, I was thinking every single story is always them saying,
"It's not your time."
Yeah, it's not your time. Like, go back. So I'm thinking like, do you think when people die, like, are they enjoying the experience? Like, it's like they have a choice to go back to their body, and like, do they like enjoy the afterlife so much so like they want? Because apparently the guy made a deal with his dad. He was like, all right, like he was like, I love it here. Like, I'm with you. I want to stay here. Like, but if the dad didn't say like go back, he would have stayed there.
Yeah.
And he made a deal with him. He's like, all right, I'll go back to my body. Yeah. So I'm thinking like the people who die, like, do you think they kind of like the soul kind of has a choice? Like, it's like,
maybe
I'll go back because like I want to, or like, no, I actually enjoy the afterlife. I want to stay here.
Maybe, but I don't know if you've ever heard of like the good die young. Have you heard of that saying?
Yeah, of course.
I feel like the people that come back, like, they know they haven't really lived their life to like the fullest, and they haven't really done everything they've needed to. But I feel like if you have a near death, well, you're dead, so you haven't really had a near death experience because you're dead. But yeah, like obviously you've lived your life to the best, and like you've done everything you wanted to, and also it's just the good die young. I feel like God wants to take you from all the bad that's going to happen in your life.
Yeah.
Like to stop you from the pain. But it's just a horrible thing, death, man. I don't really like talking about it. But
no, yeah, I know. Like it's a horrible thing, but that's what I thought. But watching that show, like especially the first episode, it made me kind of have a comfort. Like I feel like because these people, apparently the afterlife is like so incredible and like comforting. It made me think like maybe death isn't so bad. Like when your time is up, maybe death isn't actually so bad.
That's what I love believing though. I love just believing that when my time's up, hopefully it's not gonna be for years and years and years and years and years.
Yeah, I know.
But like
when we're fucking like
when we're like 90 or 80, like when we're our grandparents' age, it's like I know I'm gonna go back to like see my like, you know, my family members that I've lost. But everyone's entitled to their own beliefs, man. But that's just my belief that like afterlife. I feel like afterlife, is a second chance of life. Yeah. I feel like for me we get two lives, like one on Earth and then one in our afterlife.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just my opinion, man.
I think the spirit is just like, I know I'm getting really deep into this right now, but I feel like the spirit is like, I feel like our body is like a shell.
Okay, yeah.
And the spirit inside us is our spirit. And when the shell stops working, when we like, God forbid, die, the spirit is then released.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what I believe. I feel like that's when the afterlife happens.
Yeah.
It's mad.
I mean,
like we could be talking about all this shit and like we still don't have a clue what happens
exactly.
after.
It's like what amazes me the most is like no one knows what like heaven, because obviously like we're Christian, we believe in heaven. Yeah. And like no one knows what it is. Like no one knows. That's what amazes me the most. It's like no one actually has come back and told you what heaven is like. And like I know it's never gonna happen, but like it just amazes me. Like obviously I don't want my time to be up anywhere like until I'm like 90, but like when our time is up, I feel like we're just going to be fascinated. I feel like...
Yeah. To listen to the full podcast where me and my mate just get way too high and way too drunk, having conversations so deep and random, we feel we just have to share. The link is in the description. Go check that out right now. If you like being nosy and listening in to our conversations about interesting theories, funny memories, or random controversial topics, come chill with us, man. Spark your zoo, drink your pint, and subscribe.